there, folks. It's this week's Tales from Gotham, and it's Case 14, The Fearsome Dr. Crane. The writing was pretty decent this week. I like the fact that Harvey Bullock was kind of motivated to be a little bit more involved with this case, because essentially he was chasing tail with one of the support group's sponsors, and she was kind of cute, I will grant you that. But I felt the writing was let down when it was revealed who the killer of phobias was a little too quickly. I mean, the idea of extracting the cortisol from the adrenal glands when the victims are just about, thinking that they're going to suffer death is when, the adrenaline just goes off the scale. But it didn't leave much to the imagination. I would have preferred it if Gerald Crane had been kind of in the shadows a little bit, make you think about what's going on, because the mind begins to think and develop much more of an imagination when it cannot comprehend what it doesn't see nor hear. That theory, particularly like in most horror movies, you're more petrified and more intrigued when you don't see exactly what happens. Another example, first Jurassic Park movie, when you hear the roar of the Tyrannosaur, but you don't see the T-Rex, it's the sound of the animal that strikes more fear into you because you don't know what's coming. So, other than that aspect, I did like the way that Nigma kind of set somebody up to take the fall and get him back on the forensics team and not the post-mortem team, even though the guy is very clever. Jim wasn't really used that heavily, per se, and the fact that with what happened last week with Arnold Flass being arrested, everyone's treading on eggshells. Because Flass was in a group of people that you didn't want to mess with. In terms of cast performance, Donald Lagg really outdid himself this week. Harvey Bullock is one of those characters that he's not a bad person per se, but he's made some mistakes and he tries to do the right thing where at all possible. And Donald just plays Harvey just brilliantly to a T. I mean, yeah, he got motivated to do the right thing because he was chasing tail, but he was doing a good thing nonetheless, and you really got to like the kind of performance that Donald puts in as Harvey. He's just basically a likable rogue. Ben McKenzie really kind of underplayed it this week, but he wasn't really the sole focus of this week's episode, so I have to sort of label him as, underplaying it, but at the same time, there's not much you can do. David Mazouz, even though he's back as Bruce Wayne, wasn't used effectively enough, but you can sort of see that assertiveness growing in him. That sort of, how to say this, I will do what I want to do, and when my mind's made up, I will stick to it. It's that very kind of Batman attitude. He will not be, deterred from his path. But yeah, as far as cast performance, really very satisfied with this week's. Kind of felt that the guy playing Gerald Crane was enjoying it just a tad too much, and of course Robin Lord Taylor as Penguin sold it. decent episode. You do get the sense that some characters are out of sync in some ways, with Jim essentially having a target painted on his back because he took out Flash, who he and Loeb were in the same group of people, of very dishonest people. Let's leave it at that. But I genuinely liked the way the story and the pieces and the players came together, so I can't fault this week's too much. It's not particularly grade A awesome, but it was definitely one of those particular well-written episodes where you thought, that was good. That was good. Well written. Until next time, Gothamites, good night from the night.